Hi everybody, welcome to the Best Wines Tasting Room. On hand, he just, happened to be in the area all the way from Funchal. Funchal, sorry. Funchal. My Portuguese, especially my Madeira Portuguese, is sorely lacking. Chris Blandy's in town, CEO of Blandy's, to talk a little bit about a couple of the very special Madeiras that we have in stock here at Best Wines, and to give a little more perspective on what I think is one of the coolest wines in the world. I mean, it does not get any cooler than Madeira. I mean, these wines, just with their capacity to age and the production process behind them. Let's talk a little bit about the Verdelho. Now, Verdelho, there's a perception, I think, out there in the Madeira world, especially when we're talking about in the past with the 65-year-old ladies drinking their Madeira and such. You know, there's a perception that all these wines are sweet. Right? Now, for example, Verdelho is one of the drier styles, right?
Correct.
And it's always been drier, right?
It has. Yes,
yeah.
It's what we say produces a medium dry Madeira. So we're looking in terms of residual sugar about 70 grams per litre residual sugar. But so the consistent notion behind all these wines is the acidity. So even though 70 grams per litre of residual sugar still has that acidity. It's really fresh and very interesting on the mouth. It really is.
Yeah, and the acidity is what gives those wines the staying power during that aging process, or?
Yeah, it's the acidity that gives it the structure to age as we age it through the natural heating of the wines in these American oak barrels that we have in the centre of town. But it's also the fact that the wine's been oxidized through its aging process. The wine's completely stable. Yeah. If we were to put the cork back into this wine and open it again a year, maybe 2 years down the line, the wine will not change in bottle. So it's not very good for me to say this because from a business point of view it doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Yeah, you should drink it within a couple days at least.
That's what I normally say. But the reality is these wines have been completely oxidized and stabilized, so they will last for many years, and it's no surprise that you can actually drink vintage Madeiras going back into the 18th century.
Yeah.
So these here are baby vintages. This is very much a entryway into the classical old styles of Madeiras.
Now, is that what made you start this kind of like this pre-vintage Colheita program at Blandy's? Was to give people maybe a shot at a vintage style wine without having to throw down some pretty heavy prices nowadays for the older vintages based on their availability?
Yeah, absolutely. In the past it was very much blended Madeiras and vintage Madeiras. And in 2000, or just before 2000, we felt that the market was looking for something slightly different. They wanted to have access to a quality wine from single year, single varietal, but at a lower price point. So that's why we came up with this concept and launched the first Colheita range in 2000. And the market really enjoyed it, and especially more now so, because they're really beginning to see the potential that Madeira has. As you say, not only as an after-dinner drink by the fireplace, but also we have a lot of Michelin-star chefs, a lot of high-end sommeliers working with our wines and really experimenting with food pairings and as appetizers as well. So it's quite an interesting time, an exciting time at the moment.
Now, Blandy's isn't. I mean, you guys are one of the best-known names in Madeira, one of the highest quality names, and you have quite the reach. Now, I was looking at the production levels on some of these wines. I mean, we were talking about only 1,200 500 ml bottles produced.
Yeah.
Now, Blandy's a pretty good-sized company, not a small company. The production's so small on this particular batch of wines, though.
Correct. It's one of the challenges we have. It's all about our stocking profile. We in order, due to the ullage, due to the angel share that happens in our wine lodge, we need to stock a huge amount of wine in order to produce a very small wine at the end of the whole process.
Right.
And of course, I think other producers as well are looking to these noble varieties as have the potential to carry on the history of classical Madeiras. So we're finding, of course, more challenge from actually sourcing the grapes. But it's good times to be in, and we've taken the decision this year to be more proactive in securing the future production of especially the Social, the Verdelho and the Malmsey by controlling our own vineyards. We've come up with a project, 6.5 hectares of vines on the north of the island, in which we're going to be able to control the production of these fantastic varietals, and to ensure that future generations, I'm the 7th generation, that my kids and my grandchildren down the line can continue to enjoy these wines.
Yeah. Folks, these wines sell probably for somewhere in the mid to high 40s per bottle for this. But when you talk about the Angel share, I mean, how much of a production are you losing over 20 years?
Over 20 years, well, each year we say you lose on average between 1% and 3%.
1% and 3%?
Yeah, very much depending on where the barrel's located in our lodge. So,
so over a 20-year period, even though these are done after 15, 16 years, but your traditional, 20-year-old Madeira, you're talking about 50 to 60%.
Yeah.
Just poof. So if you ever complain about the price of these wines, based on the care, the love, and attention that goes into them, we might have to fly to wherever you're at if we find out, and just ding dong, and just when you answer the door, like poof, like just real quick, and then close the door and we'll leave. So they provide outstanding value, considering the fact that the process going into making them, as well as the fact that they're just about damn near indestructible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Chris, thanks so much for coming today and spending some time with us and talking about Madeira. This is such a cool topic. I wish we could do this forever, but then we'd drink this, then we'd get into trouble, and that would be bad or good depending on how you look at it. Cheers.